What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/TalesFromTheCustomer. Alright, this story's called Soft Water Machine Company Uses Local Law to Force People into Contracts. Can't handle when laws are used against them. Reading a similar story reminded me about the issue I had with the soft water company in my town. When I first moved to my town, I heard rumors about the soft water and plumbing racket. All plumbers' licenses and all soft water machines and contracts in this town are operated and or owned by one company. The company was shady as fart knockers and would use deceptive contracts, got sued all the time, etc. As this was the first time I'd be in control of the utilities and bills for the whole household, I decided I didn't want that drama. Besides, where I'm from, the water was literally chunky because of calcification during colder weather. I'm used to it. A bit of lemon juice and white vinegar solves all the problems. I also do my own plumbing. During the sale of the house, I was made aware of a soft water machine that was under the previous homeowner's lease. Because of how it all works legally, it would be my responsibility to either sign my own lease within a month of the sale date or to get the soft water company to remove it so that the lease wouldn't automatically transfer to me. I requested the prior owner to move the machine upstairs and into the storage shed so that way I could have the company take it quickly and drama-free. Too bad I was wrong, as this business must somehow profit from drama. I tried to get the soft water company to come take the soft water machine, but they kept putting it off. They tried to say it'd be so much more expensive because of installation fees when I changed my mind later. They kept scheduling a pickup, then not showing up, and their call rep would simply say another job had kept them too busy to show. The call center kept trying to coerce me into a contract by saying I could be guaranteed a pickup after 60 days, but I'd have to sign up to get timely service. I repeatedly shut down any similar arguments of, "You should just sign up to make this easier." At this point, on principle, I am stubborn and did not want to be forced to pay for a product I don't need and can't afford anyway. Since we just moved from farther away, everyone in the household was unemployed. I wouldn't pay them a goddamn dime out of spite. 20 days passed, and I was getting real big mad about it all. So I looked up some legal stuff for this area. It was completely legal. It was completely legal for them to force me into contract after 30 days with possession of their machine. However, it was also completely legal for me to dispose of any abandoned items or property on my property after 7 days, if I can prove that I've notified the owner of my intention. Laws for abandoned property and lease agreements were weird here, because it is a town that was built around a college. Tenants are expected to come and go quickly, so landlords and homeowners have the right to be able to let people come and go quickly. I had just enough time for a final gambit after the weekend. Monday, the 22nd day after I moved in, I called them and recorded the call myself. It wasn't required to notify companies of recording their calls, but I did just in case. I told them, "Today on date, I am informing you again of a soft water machine that I do not own, which had been left on my property by your company. I have made several attempts to return it to you, the owner. I am notifying you that I am considering this piece of equipment to be abandoned as of today's date, and in 7 days it will be considered legally mine, and I will exercise my right as the owner of this machine to take it to the city dump on the day after the 7th day, aka the 30th day of me living there. It will be left in plain view of the street on the driveway for your convenience of 24-hour no notice required pickup availability. And if it is stolen during this time, it is not legally my responsibility. It's in your hands now, as you have been notified. What I'm saying is, come get your crap or it's getting jacked and junked." The call center rep tried to argue with me that it didn't count, I couldn't do that, etc., so I quoted the exact local law code and language. She hung up on me. They picked it up within 4 hours. The water here is actually better than the water where I was from. They still call me seasonally to try to get me to sign a contract with them, advertising the low down payment price of only $6,000 in a town where the average person earns less than $16,000 a year. Damn. Incredibly messed up that they're freaking taking advantage of these people like that. Like, no one wants to deal with hard water, alright? Not just because it can taste or smell kind of funny, but also, like, it can cause, like, I'm pretty sure kidney stones or whatever, and it's a pain in the ass to clean up sometimes because it leaves hard water stains everywhere. Unless you have CLR, which I think is like a gift from God. At least I assume it is. I've only seen the commercials for it, but it looks really cool. But anyway, scummy business practice. Sis, come on guys, do better. Alright, this story's called I Almost Cried Walking Out from a Bank Today. I've been having issues with a certain blue UK bank for about a month. My best guess as to the bank is US Bank. Those guys are jerks. I'm an international student from the US, and so I need to move money back and forth pretty frequently. I looked into my options and found that the Blue Bank student account worked best for what I needed. I saw you could apply in the app and downloaded it. I don't know what was wrong with it, but it didn't give me the option to apply. So I go in branch. I ask to open a student account. They tell me to do it online. In all honesty, I was just gonna open the app and show there was no option for it, but the universe hates me, I guess? Lo and behold, apply now button. So I hop back on the bus and go home, fill out the application. I don't live on campus, so they need to send me a letter with a code to prove my address. They say it'll take 2 to 3 business days. Alright, it's only Wednesday, so it may not come until Monday. Tuesday rolls around, no letter. So I go back into the app, check the address. Yep. All good. I ask for them to resend it. Stuff happens, mail gets lost, whatever. I believe 3 days go by and aha! A letter with a code inside. I open my app again and type in the code. Invalid code. 3 attempts left. I must have put it in wrong. I type it in again. Invalid code. 2 attempts left. Maybe I messed up the last number. I type this one out super carefully. Invalid code. 1 attempt left. I don't want to risk having my whole application thrown out. I think maybe this is the first letter, and when I requested the second, it invalidated the code in this one. I wait a few more days, and finally, the other letter is here. Type the code in, and wha-bam! I'm in, baby. I have to fill out some info about taxes, income, and the like. No problem. The app closes every time you click the home button, so if I had to go, say, pull up my social security number, I had to start this section over again. It was annoying, but I get it. Finally, it asked for my UCAS number. It's a nationwide way to apply for multiple universities in the UK. I didn't apply through UCAS. I applied directly through the school. So I click the No UCAS number. It tells me, no problem, just bring in some paperwork to your branch and verify you're actually a student. Annoying, but again, I understand. My school is kinda strange. I have class from 10 to 5 every day except Wednesday. The bank hours happen to be 9:30 to 4 o'clock, and they're closed on the weekends. So I wait a few days, and here we are today. I gather all the paperwork they need and head on over. I get there and tell them I need to verify that I am a student for my account. The lady behind the counter just stares for a moment and asks me to wait. Yeah, sure, no problem. She gets up, and I can hear her asking her coworker about what to do. I knew this wasn't gonna go well from that alone. She sits back down, and a weird game of telephone starts. Her coworker asks a question. She turns and asks me, wait, do you have to prove you're a student? Oh, just my CAS, student ID, and my acceptance letter. Passport? Yep, and my residence permit. Proof of address? Got those papers right here. UCAS number? Yeah, wait, what? No.
Oh, sorry, you can't apply for a student account without one.
I am freaking dumbfounded. I tried to explain. I applied through the app. They asked me for my UCAS number. I told them I didn't have one. The app said to come into a branch to verify I was a student. That I didn't need a UCAS. I'm just gonna call it UCAS. UCAS. Her other coworker asks what's going on.
Oh, she just tried to apply for an account that wasn't right for her.
She turns back to me.
Just go back onto the app and apply for a regular account. Besides, we don't have any appointments until Brovid is over.
I leave, wanting to cry out of sheer frustration. I probably could have thrown a fuss and asked for a manager, but I was so over this, and I'm not good with confrontation. I can't do anything without a UK bank account. I can't get internet, I can't get a real phone plan, I have a pay-as-you-go SIM card, but I can't pay for more than 1 month because to top up, you need a UK bank account. I can't pay rent without basically doing a wire transfer, and my landlord doesn't like it. The fees to transfer money doesn't seem like much initially, but we've probably lost a couple hundred at this point, and for a college kid, that's a lot. I'm just so tired and annoyed I've wasted like 3 weeks doing this, and now I've been told I basically have to start over. Thanks for hearing me out. That's redonkulous. And sounds like a big old pain in the booty. But you know what they say about booty pains? They pass. Especially if you get a booty massage. But you can't really get a booty massage, without a bank account. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure massage places are like, more cash oriented. No, I'm probably just thinking of like, you know, those outside the law massage parlors. The fancier ones are probably, you know, card accepting or whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, my point is, stay away from food that makes you sick. Alright, this story's called When Hillbillies Go Shopping. Hi! I was doing some online shopping the other day, and these stories from our family lore came to mind. Quick and, I hope, funny. I thought I'd share them with you. Some background. Most of my family are mountain folks. While most people who inhabit the beautiful mountains of our planet are intelligent, some of my relations made Jed Clampett look smart. I'm talking moonshine still behind the barn, outhouse behind the bush folks. Adventure was a trip to town in the 30-year-old pickup, and high society was wearing your clean jeans to a local burger place. I love it. These stories happened back in the 60s, when a certain national catalog company finally sent their books to the mountain. Is it Sears? I bet it's Sears. Story 1. Great Uncle's Catalog Catastrophe. Great Uncle received his catalog at the town post office and gleefully took it home. Uncle arrived home, fed the pigs, and poured himself a mug from his jar of moonshine and sat down to look at the bright, shiny pages. Boots, toys, dishes all danced before his eyes. Then his gaze fell on something in the book. He stopped. He stared. He turned the page and stared some more. Now, Uncle was a single man, having been cursed with bachelorhood well into his 50s. So what he saw got him more than a bit excited. He could read, a little, and write well enough to laboriously fill in the order forms. The next day, he took his letter to town and sat back to wait for his order to arrive. Never had 3 weeks seemed so long. Then, one bright, sunny day, a neighbor showed up with a box for him from the catalog company. Uncle was confused. It seemed much too small, but he opened it up and stared in dismay at the dress inside. "This ain't what I wanted. That there is a dress." "I know that, dummy. I didn't send away for no dress. I wanted the girl what was wearing it." He did not actually try to get a mail-order bride. Silly, you don't go to Sears for that. You go to Walmart. For real, they have like everything. Story 2. Auntie Gets Married. When my auntie was 16, she became engaged to her childhood sweetheart. She was wild with excitement and happily set about planning her wedding, and nothing would do but she had to order her dress from the catalog company. The book was pulled out, pages were poured over, and her beautiful white lace dress was ordered. 3 weeks later, her dress arrived, and Auntie immediately put it on, and for the week before the wedding, ran barefoot up and down, back and forth, all over the mountain, showing everyone her beautiful city wedding dress. Oh my god. The day of the wedding dawned, and Auntie came sashaying down the aisle, still barefoot, in her now ragged dress with its dirty hem trailing along the floor behind her. She reached the front, beamed at her groom, and the minister started his speeches. About halfway through the ceremony, a small voice interrupted the minister. It was my auntie.
"Preacher, can I have me a stool? My feet sure are tired."
I love it. Story 3. Last one. Cousin Harold, not his real name. The accidental shoplifter. Didn't want to incriminate him, huh? This one actually took place at a store in town. My cousin Harold had a wife he adored. They were in their early 20s and just started the married thing. One day his wife came down with the flu. Worried and anxious to help, Harold offered to go to the store for her. Wife took him up on the offer and wrote out a list for him. Aspirin, aspirin, Vicks, juice, and oddly enough, new underpants. Harold set off, and once he got to the store, he was able to quickly find the stuff on the list. Then he decided to wander over to the pet department. They sold pets in department stores back then. Harold was wandering around slowly and stopped to admire the birds. I love it. In one hand, he had the basket with the aspirin, Vicks, and juice. His other hand held 3 pairs of ladies' underpants that he absent-mindedly stuffed in his jacket pocket as he was gazing at the birds. Between his worry for his sick wife and his fascination with the birds, poor Harold didn't notice the security guard watching him. Harold went to pay, still forgetting the underpants in his pocket. When he left the store, he was nabbed by the guard who took him to the office, where he had to try and explain why he, a man, was stealing women's underpants from a store in the 60s. It made the news. His humiliation was great. Thank you for sharing these stories, my man. These are actually really pleasant reads. It makes me long for a life of simplicity in the mountains, where day drinking is the norm. Alright, this story's called Shamed by the Cashier for Buying Cookies with EBT. I went into a supermarket earlier today and bought 24 cookies for my niece's birthday party later this week. The interaction started out fine at first. She asked how I was today. I replied, fine, thanks, how are you? A moment later, I bring out my EBT card to pay, and that's when things changed. She remarked,
It must be nice to buy that with EBT.
I was like, what? She says again, to my utter disbelief,
Must be nice to be able to afford that on EBT. I can't even afford that.
I honestly felt like telling her to step off, but I bit my tongue because I'm not gonna let her see that she's gotten under my skin, which was likely her primary motivation for making the comment to begin with. So I simply replied, well, these aren't for me. These are for a birthday. I stay away from sweets. I'm overweight because of the pandemic as it is. I shouldn't have had to explain myself, but screw it. She goes,
Must be some nice birthday.
And in my mind, I'm like thinking, frickin' seriously? A $17 purchase consisting of 24 cookies they bake in-house at the store, and this salty bimbo is acting like I'm making some lavish, extravagant purchase of lobster and caviar. So I replied, again, these aren't for me. And as she hands me my receipt, she says it a third frickin' time.
Must be nice to be able to afford that on EBT.
She's clearly baiting me at that point, but I just said, in as genuine a tone of voice as I possibly could, take care and have a nice day. Felt like crap after that interaction, even though I did nothing wrong. See, there are some individuals who were born excelling at, the skills one would need for good customer service. This lady had none of them. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.